Okay guys, so we're going to go over a quick overview of the Luxe Black and White Workflow Collection. This is an amazing collection that really covers your entire workflow and creating a bunch of different beautiful black and white looks for your images. So let's just go over what's included in the collection real quick here. You've got your start off right actions, fix the exposure, add a contrast boost and dehaze in your image. You can fix the shadows and highlights as well. All super simple with one quick click of your mouse. So moving on to the black and white actions, we've got a lot of complete looks here. It's really an all-in-one simple base action for your black and white looks. So we have a play all that plays all of these actions together here, the black and white actions. And you can turn them on and off to preview and kind of mix and match as well to suit your specific taste in editing. So moving on, we've got our toners and add-ons. We've got tints, organic hazes, vintage sepia, matte, film green. You're really covered with this collection. You've got vignettes as well. Brushes are included. And last but not least, you do have your workflow actions, which really helps speed things along and just makes your workflow that much simpler and easier and helps with that flow. So we're just going to get started with this beautiful image here of the baby in the wheelbarrow. And first I'm going to run under exposure fix. I like to take actions down to 0% and kind of work my way up to see how that, about where that works best with the image. I really like this action at 31%. And this is a backlit image, so I do need to add the contrast back into it. A lot of times the sun will just add a lot of haze to an image when backlit. So I really like the contrast that's being brought back into this image here. I'm going to keep that at 95%. Also, notice how the actions are completely stackable. Each action that I play goes right on top of the last. So now I'm going to play all, just so you can preview some of these actions here and what those do to the image. So again, we're playing all of these actions within the black and white action section here. And also another big thing to note with this collection is that each of the actions are customizable. Once the action plays, you can click on the little arrow next to the folder, open the folder, and each adjustment layer is labeled accordingly, and you can click on that layer and adjust it to suit your taste. So really simple collection to use. I've got my instructions. I'm going to hit continue, and I'm going to click on the box next to organic. Pretty light. Notice how we're getting those nice different looks with each action that I'm selecting. Now this specific image I had chosen Dreamy Boost ×2. I'm going to click on it and bring the opacity down to 60%. Now here's what I was thinking through the editing process. Now I love the rich contrast that I'm getting on baby. However, I want the attention to be more on baby, so I'm going to remove the contrast from the background here. I've got the layer mask selected, my brush is selected, and black is at the foreground color. If it's not, just click on these little arrows and watch that move back and forth there. Okay, and the opacity is at 78, not quite 100. I don't want to remove all of the contrast, just some of it. And again, I'm just painting around the baby, not being super perfect. I really like the look that I'm getting here with this. So I am just going to move to the bottom of my collection, select flatten layers, and I'm going to move on. I want to add a little bit of a rich tint to this image, so I'm just going to run pretty tints. Hit continue and open my folder, and I'm going to turn on the royal blue tint. I want that to be just a little bit richer, so I'm going to bring that up to about 60%. Hey, look at that gorgeous blue tone that we're getting in this black and white image here. I love it. So next I'm just going to do a little bit of contouring with this image. I love to play with the contour light and the contour dark actions. You can really use these for a lot of different things. Here I'm just going to lighten up baby's skin a bit. Again, just to make the subject pop that much more. And I'm just going to lighten up this handle to kind of go with the rest of the wheelbarrow. And I'm going to run contour dark. I want to darken the front of the wheelbarrow, again, just to bring your eye towards baby. Okay, so I'm really liking the look of that. And I am just going to finish off my edit with a vignette. And continue. I'm going to open the folder and click on Matte Vignette. Okay, so that is our image from start to finish. Huge difference. We brought a lot of contrast into the image and brightened it up a bit, and I really, really love the effect that we were able to get. Tons of different options with this collection. Let's go ahead and move on to image number 2. I'm going to add a vintage kind of sepia tone and more of a hazier look with this image. Okay, so I decided to start off with Pretty Light for this particular edit. Okay, now I really like how this one came out, but again, if you want to adjust any of the adjustment layers within, notice this one is depth. So if I click on this adjustment layer, I can adjust the opacity and notice how that's really darkening the shadows there. And I had liked that right around where it was. I'm going to bring that to 40%. You've got lightened shadows. If you feel like the shadows aren't lightened quite enough, you can go in and adjust that as well. So each action is completely customizable, and it's a lot of fun just to open each action and really see what you're able to do to really create the look that you're going for. Okay, so moving on, I did add a little bit of a creamy film to this image. I'm going to show you here. I'm just going to run creamy film. Again, I'm going to work my way up till I find that's working best with the image. I do like that right around 40%. And let's run vintage sepia. Okay, and I'm going to keep this one right at 40% as well. Okay, so next I do want to add a little bit of haze. What I'm going to do here is just going to help my subject pop out a little bit. So I've got my pretty hazes. I'm going to select Mocha Haze and click on the adjustment layer and bring that down quite a bit to 9%. Let me open that back up. And I'm going to click on the layer mask. My brush is still selected and black is still the foreground color. I'm just going to remove some of the haze from her face and some of her hair. There we go. Okay, and now just to help my subject pop out just a little bit more and just help draw my eye in towards her, I'm going to run Paint on Punch as part of the brushes. Click Continue. And now this action does everything for you. White is already the foreground color, so I don't need to change that. And I'm just going to start painting on her face here. Now that's a bit much. I already know I want to bring the opacity down for this particular image. I'm going to keep that right around 48%. I really like that. And last, just to kind of show you a little bit more with what the vignettes can do, I'm going to run Choose Your Vignettes. Click Continue. And I know I've already showed you the matte vignette. There is a bold vignette and a subtle vignette as well. We also have hazy edges, and I thought this one looked kind of cool with this image. I like the ethereal effect that we're getting here. I'm going to select the layer mask, largen my brush, and I'm doing that with the left and right bracket keys. And bring black to the foreground color to remove the vignette from her hair, the hazy. I think I removed too much, so I'm going to bring white back to the foreground color and just lower the opacity a little bit. There we go. Okay, so we've got a little bit of a nice hazy vignette going around our subject here. So I really like that. And so here we've got our two separate looks created with our black and white workflow collection. And that's how simple it is to use the Luxe black and white workflow collection and create your own custom look.